It's now time to look at our topic, which is on business development, and we're looking at how to drive value for organizational success. And we have with us in the studio Adeoye Abodunri. He is the Director of Processes and Head of Value Management at Insight Communications. Good morning, and thank you for coming.
Thank you very much. Good morning.
Thank you for your time.
Yes,
when we talk about business development, what would you say it's all about, really?
Okay. Business development, because I like to start concepts from what is known to what is unknown. It's just all about developing businesses, and value is why businesses are businesses. Value, basically, it can be defined from the intrinsic and the extrinsic perspective, which is, as a business, who are you? And secondly, what value do you bring to the marketplace or your clients? So those are the concepts, those are the thoughts around business development and business value generally. Now,
it's described as one thing that actually determines the health and the well-being of an organization in the long term now.
Absolutely.
How do you relate it with that?
Yes. Human beings have composition. We've got blood, you've got your internal organs and all of that. There are constituent elements that make a human being, and same is for a business. There are constituent elements inside every business that make the business a live business. Because someone is breathing, and that is to make it clear, doesn't mean that the person is healthy or that the person will be alive in the next 15 or 10 years. And so business composition, the internal essence, the internal engine room of the system, some of them are not seen. Some you will perceive, some you will see in delivery. But however, and I can give you examples. If you look at businesses in Nigeria, you enter some business office, some banking halls, for example, and you immediately feel their values, and you want to come back and come back and come back. So as far as you're concerned as a human being, that business exists. And some banking halls, you enter the place and you don't want to go back again. You just have this feeling. Anytime they pay money into that account, if you have an account with that kind of bank, you immediately feel the psychological pressure. And nobody defined it for you. Nobody said that bank equals stress. But they're dead in your mind. You don't want to go there again. And so that's kind of thing we're talking about. It is so strong, and businesses is so powerful that you don't know blood is running in your system now. You are not aware of how many molecules. You don't know any of those things, but they are there and they are real. And at every point of interaction, that interface is written or unwritten. So, yeah, that's what that's.
So, how do you measure? Because you're trying to make an example of someone who walks into the banking hall, and if I enter into the banking hall, a commercial bank, and I look at the environment. What are those things that measure the value? Because I want our viewers to really connect with this topic.
What I'm saying.
What are those things that really measure the yardstick to know, okay, this bank, I'm not going to come back again?
Yes. You know, there are two things I said value could be. It could be the intrinsic, which is the nature of the business or the DNA of the business, and it could be the moment in the life of the consumer, which is when I say what value do you bring to the table. The first one is how you are. The second one is what is your value to me. Now, both are measurable and both have specific indices. The first thing to define for a business is to know that this is who I am and this is the kind of solution I bring. I will now calibrate it myself. For example, if it's a bank I'm looking at, I want to look at, for example, response time. I want to look at, for example, service delivery time from the moment I walk through the glass doors to the moment I come in, how many minutes or seconds is that? I want to look at quality of response from the staff. Did they solve my problem on time? And that's looking at the customer perspective. What if I am behind my laptop at the office? If I have opportunity to transfer from two banks and they collect the same amount of money, where does my mouse go? Where does my mouse instinctively go? And I can now take that into a code and say, okay, how many times do people online, when they have alternative choices, choose me, for example, as a bank or whatever I do? So whatever the indicators, first of all, we must define the indicators. It differs for business, it differs for personal individuals, everybody must define what are their values. I believe people should have personal value statements. Business should have personal value statements. That's this who I am. Number two, there must also be what value do we deliver, and it must be measurable. We will do this. For example, at Insights, we say that we will accelerate the brand of our clients in the marketplace. Anytime you come to our doors, this is what you will see. If you walk into the organization as a first timer and you sit down, from the moment you sit down, we must now make our internal values, how we are, drive that first one. Then we keep measuring year in, year out, month in, month out, that kind of thing.
Now, to make this a reality, I want to believe that everybody in the organization is expected to show this value.
Absolutely.
Everyone in whatever businesses you're running, whether it's a bank or a manufacturing company, whatever it is,
absolutely,
should be able to understand. So how do you carry along your staff, or how does a business owner, relate with the staff, the essence of the value, the business value, to be able to, transmit the same message
to the customer,
to customers who come in there?
Thank you very much. Now the topic, the question is asked now shows that the topic is much more clear. Let me explain this. First of all, the values must be clear to the business owner or the executive management of that business. We will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever. Business school professors say do not make it more than a certain number, between 5 and 7. Once you have 8 values or 10 values, you may begin to suffer from multiple personality disorder. But on a more serious note, do not let it be more than 5, 6, max 7. Now, these values must be clear and they must be defined, well articulated, and it must be on the table. The second leg to it is that what is our use in the marketplace must also be written down. Once these two written down, from recruitment, that is the birth of the employees, from the time people come through the door, there must be proper process and procedure to ensure that there's the kind of persons who can really drive that value, both intrinsic within the organization and extrinsic. There are people who would not like high-paced work environment. They look, I'm a business, I want to deliver in 24 hours as an example of a value in the marketplace, I want to put in marketplace. But there are individuals who don't like fast pace. For example, they eat very slowly. Their behavioral pattern, they are just people who believe to take things a little bit much more slowly than others. So from a recruitment standpoint, except you have a conversion or developmental strategy to help the person come up to speed, they don't recruit that person. The key, first of all, is to make sure that you recruit people who can easily synchronize with those values.
Can you, my question now is it possible to have fast-paced people all in one box, in one place? Wouldn't you have a mix? Because if you're talking about recruiting people to only...
Correct.
you need a mix of people to create a balance and ensure that whatever value you want to create or give out to the public must be a mix.
Thank you.
I
agree with that. That was just an example.
Okay.
To say if you're going to be a fast-paced business and you need people in the fast-paced area to deliver that value, make sure that as you're recruiting people, the key is let there be value alignment at recruitment. Let there be value alignment, both intrinsic and extrinsic. It must be someone who will be, who has this makeup or build up or competence to live in that environment intrinsically and also succeed at helping you deliver to your client. After recruitment, there are now processes and structures. There must be systems, there must be processes, there must be training to ensure that the value is delivered. For example, if your clients are scattered all over the world and you don't have any partner anywhere, I mean, you don't have process in place. So you may have the people, there's the process dimension to it, which is that we'll do this way, this person will be our partner, there must be your business model, there must be audit, there must, loads of stuff to ensure that at the end of the day, your values are protected. Because two things matter. Who am I as a business? Secondly, what value am I delivering? When the customer is at my door or I'm at their door, what will they see repeatedly? And it cannot be left to sporadic guesswork. Every time I hit it, I must be there. Every time they meet with me, it is called moment of truth. They must meet those values, both intrinsic and extrinsic, all the time.